Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim Chadatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanya Nasmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Maunavyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Vashishtante Vasat Rishiganehi Avritam Brahmanishtahi Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam Smatma Ramam Muditavadanam Dakshinamoorty Mide Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivotbhutam Yata Nidraya Yasakshat Kurde Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Bijasyantarivankuro Jagadidam Prang Nirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vijrumbayatyabimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Yasseva Spuranam Satatmakam Satkalpartakam Vasate Sakshat Tattvamasi Vedavachasa Yopodayatya Shritan Yat Sakshat Karanat Bhavenna Punaravrittir Bhavambonido Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Nana Chitra Gadodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabhabaswaram Jnanam yasya chakshuraadikaranadvara bahispandate Janamiti tameva bantam anupadi edat samastam jagat Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Deham pranam apindriyan apichalam buddhim cha shunyam viduhu Sri Balanta Jadopamaстваhamidi Branta Vrishambadinah Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpitamaha Yamoha Samharine Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Rahugrasta Divagarendra Sadrsho Maya Samachadanat Sanmatra Karanopasamharnato Yobutsa Sapuman Pragaswapsamidhi Prabodha Samayeya Pratyabhignayate Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye. In this sixth verse, the argument was taken about the Buddha's standpoint of them claiming Shunyameva Sarvam Jagat Atmana Asti iti. Tatapi, and also some other Buddhas also say Kshanikam eva jnanam Itya jnanam asti tat sarvam kshanikam eva. And even Atman is a kshanikam, it's not a nityam, it's not constant. Now, taking up that argument, also they say Sushupti Samaye Kinchit na Jayade, nobody knows and nothing is known. And how is that? Therefore, you can conclude that there's something called Atman. So, as an answer to that, the Shankaracharya started to explain in the verse Rahugrasta Devagara in the Sadrsho Maya Samachadana Sanmatra Karana Upasamharanataha Yobut Sushupta Puman Puman Yaha Sushuptaha Yasya Karanani Samharanani Upasamharanani Sushupti Samaye, at the time of sleep, where all these Karanas, Antakaranani, Bahishkaranani, Indriyani, Sarvani, all the 10 sense organs along with the mind, the senses and buddhi, everything is withdrawn. But at the same time, when he wakes up, he says, Prag apswapsam iti prabodha samaye pratyabhigyayate. That's the main point here. So, Shupti samaye api, even at the time of the sleep, there is a existence of consciousness, because of which alone there is a recollection of I slept well. Now, on this point of recollection of the experience is commonly seen in all our worldly transactions as well. If a person says that I would like to obtain various merits to go to heaven, etc., obviously the person who is doing the action as well as the person who is going to gain the merits and the one who is going to go to the heaven must be the same. Otherwise, I do the action, you get the result, I will never do it. Similarly, a person, when he or she wants to eat something, obviously that person who knows the prior experience recollects that experience and decides whether to go for the food or not. Pratyabhijna yadi bhrantihi bhojanadi kadam bhavet. That is said in the 19th, 18th verse we read. Atma apalapakaha bauddhaha kimartamam charati vratam. That's where it started with. If a person who is a Buddhist saint or a monk wanting to become an enlightened person, undertaking various austerities, how does he do if he does not believe in the constant existence of himself over a period of time? One does and the other one gets will not become a correct understanding, or it is not possible. Similarly, yadi bhrantihi pratyabhijna, recollection is, if it is bhranti, according to you, Buddhism, bhojanadi katham bhavet. How does one even engage in eating what one likes, etc.? So that itself shows that there is a continuity of something. Continuing on that, on the verse number 19, Ishtasadhanamevaitat annam gatadinannavat idi nischitya balopi bhojanadau pravartate. Ishtasadhanam eva etat annam. This food that I am eating is what I like. Gata dina annavat, like what I had yesterday. Iti nischitya, deciding this way. Balaha api, even a child, you need not have to be an intelligent person, need not have to be an enlightened person for that matter. A common man, even a small child, bhojanado pravartate. With respect to eating, etc., all activities are based upon recollection of prior experience. deciding on to go for it or not to go for it, like it or not to like it. So obviously, if one thinks that everything Shanikam, that means the prior thought is not continued in the next thought, or there is nothing continuously present to know the previous thought and the present thought. And thought coming and going alone makes an appearance of the consciousness that is not acceptable. Because the one thought is gone and the second thought has arrived, even if there is a little connection between these two, again, the continuity is not maintained because it is not that previous thought alone that we remember. Whatever we have done even yesterday, day before, and many other years later or earlier also we do remember, recollect, and based upon that we make decisions. Obviously, there must be some kind of a connection, and that there is no, if according to you, if you say there is no continuous presence, then obviously you are wrong. And no decision can be taken. Jwala pratyabhijnavat so aham idi pratyabhijna brahma idi tat anudya dushayati. This is what is being condemned here. Katam na bhojanadi bhaved. How is that food etc. will also possible? Idya ishta sadhanam idi. Vastuni ishte purushasya tasmin pravrittihi va tato nivrittirva jayate. Based upon one's experience about food, only either one goes for it or denies and turns away from it. Anubhava siddham. This is our own experience. Pravritti nivritti cha maya edat anukulam pratikulam idi buddhi nibandane. Buddhi nibandane. So, with respect to previous experience alone, whether it is anukulam va pratikulam va, it is appropriate, favorable or unfavorable, etc. Yettu upavujyamanam swatmani sukam janayati tat anukulataya pradiyate dukkha janagam tu pradikulaya iti prasiddham. Whatever be the food, even then, if it is causing joy, then it is anukulam. When it is causing sorrow, then it is called pratikulam. So in the same way, yatra sahasa vastu darshana matrat pravrityadi drishyate tatra purva anubhuda sajadiyatvena lingena tasya swanukulam ananukulam va anumaya pravartate nivartate cha iti angikaryam. So, vartu darshana matrat, but by just sahasa, where immediately as soon as one sees the object which is one perceives, whether when one should go for it or not happens right away. So this happens only because of the pratyabhijna. Here pratyabhijna to be understood as, at this level, as recollection of thoughts. And what is a recollection of thought? What was experienced before, known, understood, and then desired or not desired later on. So, gata dina bhukta odanavat iti nischitya balaha api arbaga api bhojanado pravartate. Even the small child who may not have that much of intelligence, etc., also would decide based upon that. So one cannot misconstrue. There is only momentary thought and consciousness that is condemned here by this very example. Now, just because a thing is not seen cannot be understood as not there. The second thing is, Atma yadi asti chet tat katam vishaya rupena nabhadi. If Atman is there, then why is it not available to comprehend by us? This is answered by Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavan Krishna says, Nyayam yatyat pravakshami yaduktva yajñatva amritamushnate anadimat param brahma nasattan nasaduchyate. In the 14th chapter, 13th chapter. Na sat, na tat asat. So there also the Purva Bhikshi asked this question, if it is Sat, then you say it is. If it is Asat, you said that it is Asat, not there. It's neither real. If anything is to be understood as real, it must be an object that is real. And that which is not there, you say it is not real. Like Nara Vishanavat, like that of the horns on the head of a person, is not there. So it is not there, you say. How is that this Nyaya Vastu, neither it is Sat nor Asat? That is why Bhagavan elaborately explains about what is the nature of Brahman. Na Sat Tat na Asat. It is neither said to be Sat nor it said to be Asat because Indriyahi na avagamyate. Na indriya gochara vastu tat manasa api na avagamyate. Manasa agocharatvat. Even by the mind it cannot be known, much less it can be known by the senses. Obviously, therefore, it is not there, but at the same time it cannot be said to be experienced as an object. Now, because a thing is not experienced as an object, you cannot merely conclude that it is not there. Now, Akasha, let us take space. Is space there or not? Many people consider space is not there. Because for Vayu you can feel through the skin. Air you cannot feel, you can feel. Even though physically you don't see it, but its existence is known because we are breathing, as well as it is felt in the skin. Obviously, all other things like fire, water, earth, etc. are all said to be there. But Akasha, it cannot be known as one of the sensory experience. Now, how do you... So, just because you do not see the Akasha, you cannot say it is not there. Indirectly, I can prove to you Akasha is there. So therefore, in this next verse, he says, Avakasha pratatritvam Akashartha kriya tata yata tataiva varta kriya pumsaha kartritva jñatrutvaadika avakasha pradatritvam akasha artha kriya yata. Just as आकाश जो है वो अवकाश देता है. अवकाश प्रदातृत्वम, giving room is the kriya of Akash. Now, this is abstract, no doubt. Objects are there or not? Yes. Where? So, I am sitting there near the table, the chair is there, book is there, book is on the table, okay, and the table and my chair both are on the floor, okay. This floor is in a building, okay, building is on the earth, okay. Earth is where? Say water, okay, water, if you want to say that. Water is there, where? In space. The space is where? Space is everywhere. Now, this earth is there in which we are. Where is the earth? The planet called earth, where is it? It is in space. So that means what? It is somewhere. That somewhere where it is. What is this adhishtan? On what it is there? It has to be understood as Akasha. Akashate iti Akasha. Everywhere it is there. So, Avakasha Pradatritvam, to give space or give room for Akasha Arthakriya. So, we have to understand Arthakriya Karitva. This word has to be understood. It is technical word. According to the notes here, that is Mimamsa school of Prabhakara had used this. It only means that a true knowledge, test of true knowledge is that it should be an incentive to action that fulfills a practical need. So Akasha is that which gives room and by which alone things can be kept there. Movement is possible from one place to another. So it is not doing anything by itself, but it makes the action possible. Current also, we do not know, we don't see it. You cannot say it is not there. So the Atman, even though it is not objectifiable presence, but it sarvasya adhara rupena asti. It is sarvabhrut. Sarvam bibharti iti sarvabhrut. Bhagavan Krishna also says very clearly, Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam. Nirgunam gunabhoktrucha. It is not that which is Sarvendriya guna abhasam. Sarvendriya guna rupena abhasam. Sarvendriyanam guna rupena abhasam. It is that which is shining itself through the qualities of the senses, at the same time Sarvendriya vivarjitam. It doesn't have any of the senses. Nirgunam gunabhoktrucha. With no qualities, but enjoyer of all qualities. So, here, tata eva, in the same way, arthakriya pumsaha kartrutva jnatrutva. The individual who feels that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, etc., or because of the presence of Atman only. That is why it is said here, tadacha pashpakshade upagame sati avriyadi tad astu akashakyam bhava rupam vastu iti gamayitavyam. What? Asti akashakyam. There is akashakyam. But just like the space, even though not perceived, one has to know the existence of the space. Bhava rupam vastu, na bhava rupam. Akashaha bhava rupam. Space is bhava rupam, positive existence. So when a room full of objects are there, you don't see the space. And when I remove all the objects in that room, you read, but a lot of space today. Oh, where is that space coming? Entered into that room. It was already there, unseen. Why? Others have occupied it. When all objects in that room is removed, oh, you have a lot of space here. Oh, what was there was there. At that time, it looks like abhava. Now, when things of the room is removed, then it becomes bhava rupam. Earlier also bhava rupam only. It is always there. So, jnatrutva katrutve tu atmanaha prasiddhe. In the same way, every one of us are thinking and acting, etc. It is possible because of the presence of something conscious. Thinking and acting is not possible by the senses by themselves or the antakaranas. It is because of the conscious entity presence there, because of whom all these kriya, jnatrutvam, kartrutvam, all of them are possible. Therefore, just because it is not objectifiable, one should not misconstrue that it is not there. So, your thing that it is shunyam, atma na asti, in this kind of argument, vadaha, is not correct. Continuing on that, immediately the Buddhas would say, okay, I understand one thing, that yes, waking time and dream time, when the activity of thinking and doing are taking place in the time of waking, and thinking to some extent of experiencing emotions, etc., that are taking place during the dream also is acceptable. But in Sushupti, it is actually absent. Why? Because neither we are acting nor thinking. So that means in the time of sleep, it is disappeared. And when you wake up, it comes back again. So it is Shanikam. So to avoid this kind of an argument, or to counter this argument, next verse he says, verse 21, Sushupti samaye pyatma satya jnana sukatmakaha sukamasvapsamitevam pratyabhignayate yataha. Sushupti samaye api, during the deep sleep state also, dreamless deep sleep, Atma, the self, which is Satya Jnana Sukatmakaha Atma, of the nature of existence, bliss, consciousness, Sukam Aswapsam, I slept well, Iti Evam, in this way, Pratyabhignayate, is being recollected, Yataha Esmat. Since so, Nanu arthakriya samaye eva sattvat tam angikurvataha jagrat swapnayoho sattve api sushupto arthakriya abhavat asatvam atmanaha praptam ityataha. As I said, the argument is that during the waking and dream state, yes, there is arthakriya. There's a purpose of acting and thinking takes place, but not in the deep sleep. Therefore, Sushupti Samaye, it's not there. But that is also countered here, saying that Pratyabhignaya Pramanyam Prag Saditam Eva. Anything recollected is none other than what was experienced by the same person. If I dream and you remember, I will never dream. So there will be a problem. They have to ask everybody, what is my dream? Tell me. I don't know. You probably know it. I am the only person who know it. So in the same way, I slept well, only I know it. Nobody else can say, did you sleep? Did I sleep well? Must be, because the whole place was shaking. You must have slept very well only. So here, my sleep, I only had experienced, and therefore I could recollect, saying that Maya prageva Maya sukameva sukameva suptaha aham. I slept well. So here, Purva Uttara Kshanayoho Ekasya Drishtuhu. Purva Uttara Kshanayoho Ekasya Drishtuhu. Sadbhavana Angikarat Sadrishya Grahaka Abhavat Bauddhasya Pratyabhignya Brahma api na siddhyati iti tasyaha brahmatva vacha vacho yuktihi yukta iti bhavaha na tasyaha. So if there is absence of the same presence in the previous moment to the next moment, in the absence of that, there is no possibility of recollection. As in the case of a person who slept, who could recollect and say, I slept well, obviously there is an experience of the absence of everything, and the positive experience of some bliss also is there. An interesting point is that the bliss that everybody experiences in sleep is uncaused by any object. No person, no being, no object, no achievement, no success, no gain, no loss, no indulgence, no sensory experience, no emotion, no feelings, no thought, no, none of those things obviously had caused that sukha. Sukhena suptamaham. He slept very well. The joy that is experienced in the sleep, even though it is recollected and then later on known, only shows Atma Satya Jnana Sukhatmakam iti. It is of the not only nature of Satyam and Jnanam, but it is also Sukham. It is also a nature of joy. Otherwise, we would never go to sleep at all. If it is Dukkham or even neutral, सोना है भैया वो बार बार एवरी दिन है ना, प्रतिदिन मुझे सोना है, ये क्या मुसीबत है ये. We don't feel like sleeping then. But are we not looking forward even in the classroom? If it is going beyond our comprehension, चलो स्वामी जी तो उसका काम है बताना, मेरा काम है सोना. Just go to sleep. So why do we so love sleeping? Because it is sukhanubhava. It is a joyful experience. And the source of joy is not somewhere else. That is the third point here. Satya Jnana Sukhatmakam Atma. So, now interesting thing is, there is a particular usage in Vedanta. It's called Karma Kartari. So that point is brought in here. It's not very technical, but it can be easily understood. Pratyabhijñāyate iti prayoga karma kartari atma swayam prakashatvat janatyatmanamatmana. Pratyabhijñāyate iti prayogaha. The usage of the word pratyabhijñāyate, prati abhijñāyate. Three, we can split it into three. Jnāyate, knows. Jnāyate, knows. Abhijñāyate, knows very well. Very well means without any aid. Abhijñāyate, very closely. Abhijñā, pratyabhijñā, vijñāyate, very well knows, very closely, without any intermediary, without any means, medium. And prati means upon prior experience. So that's why it's called recollection. Recollection is based upon what has been experienced before, following that. Now, this word, Sukham iti pratyabhijñāyate iti vadata atmanaha vishayam tvam uktam karma pratyaya nirdeshat tadacha vedantinaha tava swayam jyotiratma iti abhyubhagama virodaha iti kasyachit ashankam pariharati. Now, when you say, I experienced the sleep, joyful experience. Now, what happens is, in this context, any experience is between subject and object, and the subject knows the object. Usually, that is how it is undertaken as a statement. Now, when you say that I slept well, who slept well that you know? So, the experience of bliss is an object of experience. In every, so I'm eating sweet, the sweet is experienced by me. So, the sweet, the object, experienced by me, the subject. There are two things here. If that is the case, in the case of me experiencing the state of sleep, who is the subject and who is the object? So, if you say that Atman is the subject, and who is the object then? Who slept? If Atman is the subject, I mean, if the Atman is object, then who knows it is slept? Experience of sleep, objectifiable if it is, then you have to distinguish between who is object and who is the subject. The problem here is the karma kartari, the usage is the object and the subject both are one and the same. Both are one and the same. This is how in Vedanta it is used. It is, the example that is given is Odanaha Pachyate. Odanaha Pachyate. Rice is cooked. Rice is cooked means rice is not cooking something. Rice is getting cooked. The statement is rice. The action is taking place of cooking, and what is getting cooked? Rice. The rice that is getting cooked. That very act of getting cooked is happening on that rice itself. If you say by the Agni, the rice is getting cooked, then there are two. What is that happening there? Agni is the Karta. Agni is the Karta here then. So in this Karta means the agent, the doer of the action. Karma is the action. So the cooking is an action. Karta is Agni, two of them. Then it is understandable, it is one acting over the other. The Karta acting on something. But here, rice is cooked, is called Karma Kartari Prayoga. Meaning, karma is also happening there, where the one which is experiencing the karma is also that only. Similarly, here, Swayam Jyoti Rupatvat, because Atman is of the nature of self-luminous, the knowing that I am sleeping, I slept, is not external, it itself. The one who slept is the same one which is saying, I slept. This is the reason why the particular usage is very important. So that's why I said here, in the process of recognition or pratyabhijna after deep sleep, the person who recognizes and the person recognized are both one and the same. Because it is Swayam Jyoti Rupatvat. It is of the nature of Swayam Prakash Rupaha. See, when I am seeing an object, light is falling on it, or my eyes are seeing it. The object is known because of the usage of the eyes, which is doing the act of seeing upon something else. Whereas here, the experiencer Atman, experienced is also Atman. And there is no second person there or second thing there. There is no other than Atman, there is nobody, nothing. And this is called Karma Kartari Prayoga. And Vedanta says Pratyabhijna belong to this point of the doer and the one on which the action being done. That means the one who is getting recognized and the one who is recognizer of that remaining the same. So even though when you say there is absence of everything else, how do you prove the existence of Atman in the sleep? The existence of the Atman in sleep, which not objectifiable, yet it knows its own presence, is what makes an individual able to say, I slept well. All right. Okay. So, why in the sleep, if one is able to recognize, after getting up, when one is able to recognize that I slept well, now why not at the time of sleep itself? You are saying I slept well after waking up. Why is it not possible for that self to recognize it while asleep? So, for that, the answer is simple, Maya. So, Sushupti Kale Sakale Viline Tamo Vibhuta Sukarupameti Tama Abhibhuta Sukarupameti. So, that tamas of the Maya overpowers. Therefore, there is no recognition at that time to claim that I am sleeping happily cannot be done. Sushupto Mayaya Moodaha Jadonda Iti Lakshyate Aprakashataya Bhati Swaprakashataya Picha. Sushupto, in the state of sleep, Mayaya, due to Maya, Atma, the self, Moodaha, Jadaha, Andaha, Iti Lakshyate. It appears to be as though deluded by Maya, as Moodaha, deluded, Jadaha, inert, Andaha, blind, Iti Lakshyate is seen, is appearing. Aprakashataya Bhati, as though it is not at all having its ability to become aware. But Saprakashataya, but at the same time, it is self-knowing. This is interesting. Aprakashataya Bhati, Saprakashataya. So we need to understand this carefully. So, evam tatparya varnanena atmanaha nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabhavatam vapadya idanim rahugrasta iti aksharartham artadaha varnayati. The verse very clearly says rahugrasta divakarendra sadrusho maya samachadanat. What is that verse saying? This sixth verse beginning itself. Rahu grasta, Rahuna grasta. By the Rahu, as though devoured, consumed, swallowed. Divakara Indu, like the sun and the moon swallowed by Rahu. Sadrsho, equal to, like. Maya Samachadanat, due to the overpowering presence of Maya, Sanmatraha, staying merely as existence, Karana Upasamharanataha, at the state where all the senses and all the Antakaranas are being withdrawn, Yobhut Sushuptaha, one who being staying in the state of deep sleep, Puman, Purushaha, Atma. And the same one only, Pragaswap Samiti Prabodha Samaye, I slept very well after waking up, he said. Yat Pratyabhijñāyate, he who recollects it. Now, at the time of sleep, therefore, Maya Samachadita Stitihi. Mayaya Samyak Achadita Stitihi. Very well covered by Maya. Now, it appears as though Jadaha, Andaha, Vat. Jadatvam, Achetanatvam. There is no awareness of things. Andatvam, Ajñātritvam, state of ignorance. Ataha, Vishesha Vijñāna Abhavat, Aprakashataya Bhati. The second line says, Aprakashataya Bhati. Because Vishesha Vijñāna Abhavat. Buddhihi tada manaha api atra na asti nastaha. Atra sushupti samaye. Sushupti samaye, both of them are absent. Manaha tada buddhi api. So the adhyavasa, so the state of recognition or state of understanding, as well as thinking about it, both of them being absent. So there is no Vishesha Jnanam. Vishaya Jnanam na asti. Vishesha Vijnanam api nasti. Vishesha Vijnanam is distinguishing one or the one away from the other. I know this is pot, this is cod, this is pataha, itam kataha ityadi. That kind of a recognition of individual objects are not possible in the state of sleep. All right. That is why it is said aprakashataya bhati. The second line is very important. Second part. So aprakashataya apicha. What is that? Even though Vishesha Vijnana Abhavat Aprakashataya Bhati Swarupa Vijnanasya Vilopa Abhavat Swaprakashataya Apicha Abhati Ityartha. Because Swarupa Vijnanasya Vilopa Abhavat. Nature of the self will never be absent. What is nature of self? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. This will never go, Anandamapi. It will never disappear. Because why? It is Swarupa. Swarupa ka vilopa nahi hota hai. As Gurudev would say, sugar will never be salt, sugar can never be spicy. Because Swarupa hai. There is sun where there is no light. Not possible. Because even in the example of Rahu Grasta Divakara Indu, Rahu is not making sun become absent of light. Making the sun not available for us to see its light. Correct? It's not sun lost its light. नहीं होता है. इसका स्वरूप है. We don't see it. Because of the shadow created. The shadow is Maya, Chaya. Maya is nothing but Chaya only in that case. It's only a shadow that comes. So the light of the sun is not absent. Light of the sun is not available for us to comprehend. In the same way, Sarupa Vijnanasya Vilopa Abhavat. This is a very important point. That's why he says Swaprakasha api, Swaprakashataya api. Even as it is not ever will lose its Sarupa of being existence, self-aware. It may not be aware of all other objects, but self-awareness is not gone. Because of which alone, that is what is called Swayam Jyoti. Swayam Jyoti is nothing but self-awareness. And that is the reason why even at the time of sleep, when Vishesha Vijnanam is not taking place, but I am Asmi, that Jnanam is present there. Even though expressing itself as I know is not there, but that nature of being aware is present, because of which it is able to recollect I was. So that is the reason why Swarupa Vijnanasya Vilopa Abhavat Swaprakashataya api abhati. And that is why Maya Samachadanat Sanmatra. At that point, even though there is no possibility of expressing that awareness, but there is surely a nature of pure existence sustained even at the time when everything else is withdrawn. Sanmatraha karana upasamharanataha yobhut sushupta pumahan. So the Maya is so powerful that it makes it as though Atman appear to be Mooda, Jada, Anda. So that's why it says Jadatmanicha Dehadau Sakshat Isho Vivichyate. Deha Adau, in the body, etc., which is Jada, Jadatmani Deha Adau. This body, etc., even though they are inert, this inert body is known. How? Sakshat Ishaha Vivichyate. Ishaha, Ishvaraha, Paramatma, Nityavastu. Vivichyate is able to discriminate very clearly, this is not me. That is different from the body. And this is the Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka Samarthyam. As we go deeper into that understanding, we realize that Yat Sarvam Anityam Anatma Tat, all of them, Tat Sarvam, Basamane Api, even though perceived, Mithya eva. They are not real. So at one point of time we realize that Atma Anatma Viveka nahi hai. One point of time we would say what is the nature, what is the definition of Viveka? Atma Nityam Satyam Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam iti. Sarvam Anityam iti, in the beginning stages it is other than Atman, there is other things are all Anityam iti. Then it comes to a realization that Sarvam Nitya iti. Sarvam na iti. Tat Vyatiriktam Kinchidapi nasti. But then it is hard to just suddenly leap to that point. Slowly. So, who's sleeping? Jadam eva. Only Jadam becomes Jadam. That's all it is. It is Jadam all the time. It is not body was awake and body went to sleep. Oh, when is it awake? When is it awake? Body is when is it awake? Ramana Maharshi will ask this direct question. When is it awake? You tell me. You think body is by itself awake without this presence? So in his presence, body appears to be awake, and when the one which is making it appears awake is watching it is awake, extending itself, extending its presence, therefore body appears to be awake and it is watching it. When it withdraws, Jadam becomes Jadam only. What it is cannot be otherwise. Does body say I am? His body is saying I am. I am Ahamasmi. The body is telling. Body cannot say it is Jadam. Whether it is sleeping or it is awake, it is still Jadam only. So in this way, Vivichya, clearly you see the difference. Etavata Purvartham Vyakhyadam Uttarartham the Padartham. So, having explained Rahugrastha Divagarinda Sadhurava Maya Samachadana, that is explained. Dehendriya Manobuddhisha Jadeshu Swapara Vyapara Nimitteshu Swaparan Abhigneshu Yaha Aham Adraksham Soham Jigrami Shrunomi Vachmi Manye Janami Gachami Tishtami Langayami Idi Sarva Avabhasakataya Atma Sakshad Ishvara Idi Vivichyate Tirthaha. Very clearly he distinguishes between the Jadam and Chetanam, and which is Chetana remains as a Sakshi, Yasya Sannidhi Matrena Sarvam Amrsha Iva Bhati. So we saw in the Tulsirama in the introduction also, Rama's introduction is what? Very clearly he says, it's Sat, what called? Chinmaya Vashavarti Vishwamakilam Brahmadi Deva Suraha Yat Satvat Amrushaiva Bhati Sakalam Rajo Yadahir Brahmaha Yat Satvat Amrsha Iva Sakalam Bhati. Whose presence alone, all which are all really Mrsha only, false. Amrsha iva bhati sakalam rajau yatahir brahmaha. Like that of the rope appears to be a snake, or snake appears to be alive with the support of the rope alone. Similarly, yat satta matrena sarvam jadam astirupena bhati. Astirupena, all of them are Sakalam, Vishwam. Entire world is appearing to be Ajada Rupena Bhati, Chetan Rupena Bhati. Now, this Maya, which is capable of creating an appearance of disappearance of self, it is so powerful that it can make even Atman unavailable. That's why Bhagavan says, I just do not know what to talk of her. It's so powerful. We'll see that more in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.